Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Minnesota RØKKR co-stream for the Toronto home series. Today's March 20th, which means we're playing Florida Mutineers. I'm super stoked. My name is Ashley, aka Midnight. I'm on with Icon, as always, your host with the most, the best hype, the most analytical talk. I don't know.
Let's go.
We're doing it, Icon. Let's go. So obviously, if you guys, caught our first match of stage 2 yesterday, things did not go well. We got 3-0'd by Paris Legion. The first couple of maps were pretty close until they weren't, right? You saw that we went up 5-2, in the Search and Destroy versus Paris yesterday. Got swept back on and then got obliterated on the raid control. You hate to see it. But today's a new day, new dawn, new day. Welcome everybody in the chat. Say hello. Get acclimated. Let's get hype. So today's a new day though. We're playing Florida Mutineers, and I just love to know your take. How does RØKKR bounce back from yesterday, and is Florida the team to do it against or not? What's on the plans for the guys today?
If you're Minnesota, you have to come out and get a map 1 victory. It's just how I feel with how things went yesterday, with how there was 1 or 2 critical gun battles on that very first hard point on raid that didn't end up going their way. Then they had the 5-2 lead in search and ended up kind of choking it away before losing that round 11. So I feel like today, when we're starting off with hardpoint checkmate, this is an opportunity. Minnesota's 1-1, but Florida's 0-3 on this map and mode. So this is a perfect opportunity to just kind of put yesterday's match behind you. Come out today. This isn't a map that Florida's great on. Florida hasn't been playing well either. So you know that they're going to be ready to go for this one too, because just like Minnesota, they're kind of both in the same spot that you need a win. Both of these teams are in a spot where they both still have to play Dallas. They both still have to play Chicago. So you have to try to get as many W's as you can. If you can finish with a 3-2 record going into the second major, that's probably good enough to put you in that winner's bracket. And there's only 5 matches. So if you're Minnesota, you didn't get the victory yesterday. If you're Florida, you didn't get the victory earlier in the week. So this is a massive match, and it could have huge implications for who ends up being in the winner's bracket and who ends up starting in the loser's bracket.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You hate to think that match number 2 of your stage is a must win, but at this point, if you're looking at the docket and the schedule, it is. We've got to bounce back after yesterday if we want to have any shot of ending up in the upper bracket for majors. If you take a look at the schedule here, Saturday the 20th, which is today, we're playing Florida. Then we play Optic Chicago on Thursday the 25th at 3:30 Central Time. By the way, we will be live right here for that as well, so hopefully see you there. Make sure you subscribe. And then that weekend on Sunday the 28th at 3:30 as well, we are playing Dallas Empire, world champions. Obviously did catch a dub versus Empire last stage, which was nice, but oof, I'm nervous. And then to finish things off here, we're facing Seattle Surge on April 3rd. So you feel okay about that, but when you're looking at the next 3 matches in Florida, Optic, Dallas, it's like you say, if you want to have any shot at ending up in that upper bracket, you've got to go off here. You've got to, basically let everybody know that yesterday was not our team. We saw it said by Coach Saint in the post-game interview yesterday that we posted to our socials, as well as a pre-game interview that he shared, his thoughts on the match yesterday of that's not us. We got to come back. We're going to kind of prove that. So hopefully we see that today. Some interesting things were actually said in that interview, Icon. Maybe if you guys haven't seen the interview, clue in on a couple of the major points from Saint's quick interview we posted to Twitter.
Yeah, there was one little line where he said they looked at micro changes when it came to roles. And with that, it gets you thinking, who could change roles here? Obviously, you're probably not going to change Accuracy's role, probably not going to change what Attach is doing. So those 2 are probably set. The thing that I would look at after I hear that is, are you going to take Priesta and have him run a QBZ? We've seen Priesta in the past look his best when he's running a fast Maddox type role back in BO4. So then that would put Mike into an SMG, Major Maniac into an SMG. I mean, if that's something that they'd elect to do at this point, I mean, you're probably at a point in the second stage where you start thinking if we could make changes, where might we make those changes based off of roles? And that's probably the easiest one to do, right? You're not going to take attach and take them off SMG. You're not going to take accuracy. So if you just want to try to switch things up a little bit, that's where it would be. So, and also it'll be interesting to see if it's across all game modes or if it's just the respawns. Like, are they also going to be making those changes in search and some of the search matches? My guess would be probably just the hard points, but I mean, we'll see what happens. So it's an interesting take. We'll see what happens here, especially after this first hard point, because it's one that without a doubt, Minnesota should come out and go up 0-1 or 1-0.
I hope so. I really hope that they can. I mean, the odds are in our favor, like you say. Florida does not look good on Checkmate. I mean, Florida does not really look good, period, either. So you have two teams now in RØKKR and Florida where their backs are against the wall. They've got to. It's time. Right now is time. You know, you have both kind of had a rough stage one. You're in stage two now. You know, you have I mean, we do have a very tough group. I would say this is the tougher of the two groups this stage. So, you know, nobody should be taken lightly in the CDL. But if you're looking at the group, you're looking at the landscape, these first two matches are ones that you should and honestly have to win, right, if you're gonna have any shots. So I'm really like there's a lot kind of riding on this match today. The intensity is there, and you know, it's all about seeing who's gonna kind of come back, bounce back, and clutch up where they need to the most. So I think it's really interesting, you know, the thought of like Major Maniac or Priesta, maybe if they're tweaking roles, maybe it's only for certain maps or whatever it is. I don't know if the QBZ meta has kind of changed the way that the team was just how they're composed. I'm not really sure, but it'll be really interesting to see like how they come out, what they look like, and who's running what. I think, you know, Major Maniac, everyone on Atlanta FaZe last year, he was the kind of main AR player. Everyone thought when they had paired him with accuracy on this RØKKR lineup, like, oh, like you have two main ARs at your team, like that's not gonna work. But Major Maniac himself has always said that he's a flex player. He like can mainly run an AR, but he's also a flex player, and he also really likes to run a sub and can run a sub and has in the past. So, you know, we haven't seen too much of that from him, but it'll be interesting to see if he is indeed running a sub on some of the maps. What's that going to look like? Is it going to help? And just how are they going to start to position themselves around the map? So I'll be honest, it makes me a little nervous to hear about like a role change, not before the stage, but right after your first match of the stage. Like, I wonder if that's something they had an inkling of in practice already, or if they just, you know, you get your butt handed to you by Paris and you're like, all right, something's got to give right here. So I don't know, it'll be really interesting to see. And I think just, you know, when you're looking at the players on both rosters, like, I mean, and yeah, there's a lot of similar kind of parallel storylines here between the two. You have rosters with players capable of going off, and none of them have really looked like very solid yet so far. So what's like your key for each team, whether it's a key player or a thing that the team needs to do in order to win? I mean, you could definitely gas up RØKKR, but if you think Florida's got a great key to victory or player, definitely let us know. I want to hear.
Heading into this, I felt like if you look at the SMGs, I really do think Minnesota has an SMG advantage just with all that Attach has been doing this year. By far, stats-wise and what he's doing on the map and the big matches that he has had, I think Attach is like obviously probably of the four SMGs having the best season so far. Neptune has looked good at times, but inconsistency is still a little bit off. I'm sure it'll get there. I mean, he's brand new to the scene, so I'm sure it'll get there. But the biggest matchup for me and where I think the toughest one's going to be is going into this, Awakening and Skies are like, when you first looked at that Florida roster coming into this season, those two are like, if they can find two SMGs, there's no reason why Florida can't come out and just win the whole thing, because those two are so good. Awakening has been playing fantastic this year. So when I'm looking at like matchups, I'm like, well, how's Major Maniac going to do in a matchup against Awakening? Because Awakening's been playing so well. But now if those roles have been switched a little bit, it might be Priesta and Awakening. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And the other part of that is same thing. Skies was an MVP candidate last year. So when you're looking at Skies, you expect that from him, but very similar to Octane, they really haven't been playing at the same level so far that they were last year. But Accuracy has had a couple matches in a row where he hasn't played great either. So the biggest question marks for me is, what do you get from Awakening and Skies, and what do you get from Major Maniac and accuracy? Because sometimes accuracy comes out and puts up like a 1.4 and just looks unbelievable, and that's when Minnesota looks their best, and sometimes he doesn't. So that's the biggest thing, the Flex AR matchup. We'll see what happens.
We'll have to see how it goes. I'd love to know everyone's predictions in the chat. It looks like they've started rolling our amazing intro video, and they're going to get started into the match here, guys. So Icon and I will be back, after map 1. We'll be there to talk, break it down, get hype. Hopefully we can go up 1-0 here. Lord knows we need it. So anyway, enjoy the match, and I'll be in the chat with you guys until then.
Minnesota RØKKR again, a squad that on paper looks absolutely outstanding. Accuracy attached, Major Maniac and Priest are all the working parts to make a championship caliber roster. But right now, Chance, it just feels like there's something going wrong in the execution of plays.
I mean, make no mistake, like hardpoint is the focus. They are 2-8 in the game mode. Worst record right now in the CDL, but I will say, like, of the 8 losses that they have, 6 of those games are like within 56 points. So like, I know that's a specific number, but most of their losses are for close games. The only 2 wins that they have, they kind of blew the other teams out of the water. So it's really just sort of a clutch thing for them. All these games in hardpoint are super tight, and it's coming down to like those final hills where they just give up a full 60 right at the very end. So they're not terrible at the game mode by any means. It's really just a couple small tweaks. They can start working themselves towards that 500 margin, and they will be a much better team in the league after that.
We'll see what they can bring today, but we have to go up now and find who their opponents will be. I mean, you know who they're going to be, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a nice time to pad them out and let us know. Ladies and gentlemen, about time. Put your hands together for the Florida Mutineers.
The dictionary defines redemption as the deliverance of persons or things from the possession and power of captors.
It is a 3-0 victory over the Florida Mutineers.
As the act of making something better. As the act of making up for a loss.
It is over, and that is a shocker for the Mutineers.
We define it as inevitable. You can count our KD. You can count our headshots. You can count our hill time. What you can't do is count us out.
Florida Mutineers, the squad made up of incredible individual talent who we are seeing find some mixed success throughout the league so far, Chance, but for Awakening Skies, Slacked, and Neptune, I think this is a very, very important victory for their overall confidence. We've seen them go toe-to-toe with big teams. We've seen them take a couple of naughty losses. Obviously, losing to Seattle Surge a couple of days ago was absolutely unheard of. No one saw that one coming. Apparently Nameless did, though, which I do find a little bit fishy, if you ask me. But either way, this team, I think, has an incredibly high ceiling, mate. But what are we looking out for today from them?
Well, I mean, I say the biggest thing just generically is they just need to kick it up for like the stage play, right? When it came to the tournament for the major from stage 1, they won more series there than they did in the actual first stretch. And well, now we find ourselves at the beginnings of stage 2 and they start in a rut again. If they don't sort of come out with that energy that you would bring in a tournament, they're just going to be down on CDL points. It is going to be a constant struggle starting from the losers bracket. So they got to make sure they turn this ship around right now.
Well, see if they can get it done. Again, we saw great success in stage 1 every now and then, a couple of blunders, but still, get stage 2 going off to a fantastic start would be ideal. Now it's time for us to go through the Florida Mutineers game field keys to victory, my friend.
Yeah, and I'd say the first bloods for search is important for them. I'm pretty sure that their first blood rate is actually about 42%. It's been sort of a struggle point for them where even on defensive rounds, on defense-heavy search and destroy maps, they're just struggling to get those first bloods, and that's even with Awakening's ridiculous production. It is just a collective thing about their execution at the start of the rounds is not always there. They just sort of get picked off, and banning raid control, I think, is interesting. Not just for the fact that their record isn't great, but on the flip side for Minnesota, they've never played a Checkmate. That's a map that Florida's happy to play, so if you ban raid, it's going to be a decision for Minnesota. Do they want to play the Checkmate that they've never played before, or do you want to have to deal with Florida on garrison control where they are 3-1? So they ban that raid control, they're going to put themselves in a good spot.
Interesting to see where this series goes. Of course, we'll let you know in just a moment. But for now, chance the Minnesota RØKKR's game fuel keys to victory.
And look, I've talked about the clutch thing before. All of their hard points are actually close. It really just has been a situation where it's like that final hill. They just lose those rotation battles, lose a couple key gunfights, and end up getting full 60'd right at the very end. So clutch is the main factor for me in hardpoint. Specifically, if we see a Checkmate hardpoint, though, they actually are currently the worst team in the CDL on P3. Really, just anytime I go back and watch the VODs, they're never able to get any semblance of control on that hill. The kills are a problem. Even setting up for the rotation to P4 after that, they have struggled with. So that's really what I want to try to focus on for this team if we see a Checkmate. And then, of course, that Miami search and destroy. Saw from them yesterday. Offense is a problem for these guys. 3-12 on offensive rounds on Miami. I think it really just comes down to they sometimes will put themselves in a good spot and then just be stagnant, not try to get the bomb down over towards A when someone gets a first blood, not taking like the opportunities that they get when they create them. And I think they just need to see it sort of reorchestrate the way they handle Miami offense.
Well, Chance, you asked for a Checkmate hardpoint right off the rip, and it's exactly what we are going to be getting. Express search and destroy there for map number 2, and dude, a Checkmate control smack bang in the middle there. We will get a Miami at the very end of the series if we should get that far, and of course that raid hardpoint for map number 4. But mate, seeing that Checkmate come through, what does that make you think about how the vetoes have gone, and given what you just mentioned there in the game fuel keys to victory?
I just think this means that Minnesota's been put in a tough spot. If they're forced to ban away a garrison, even though that's a map they kind of like to play, just because Florida is that strong, it just means it's a fresh look for them on Checkmate. Like, granted, these guys played in scrims every single day. I'm not sure if it's an auto veto for them, but they veto it quite a bit. So if it's the first look on it, it is not the comfortable spot that Minnesota wants to be in, at least for that map 3. Of course, that means for Florida, well, they need to make sure they take full advantage and try to get the dub there.
So early in the stage, plenty of time to push yourself outside of the comfort zones. Now, a quick scope brought to you by Scuff. And again, an overall look at the series so far, and 7-10 thus far for Florida there in the hard points. Again, Minnesota's struggling big time in the hard points. We're looking at these overall stats. It does give us a bit of an indication of where exactly we will be going in this series. And we did have an issue with a player dropping out there, but I think we actually are good to go. It may be possible if we're going to get a quick update to find out exactly what's gone in a chance. But mate, again, look at the quick scope. I think everything you've touched upon, 100% spot on, ready to go. I think we do have a nice series in our hands here against two teams with passionate fans looking to see their teams turn it all around.
Absolutely. And again, if you just want to keep things simple or just be a little bit generic, it's pretty obvious when Minnesota plays that really just the keys to victory for them are, well, if you're not going to win the hard points, you better make sure you clutch up on the searches. Of course, on the flip side, of course, if you're playing against Minnesota in hardpoint, need to get the job done and take them down because they are very used to starting off map 1 with a loss. If you give them that momentum early on, Minnesota might be able to orchestrate a different series from some that they've had this year. So make sure you start off hot.
We go, see if we can get a hot start as we go into Checkmate for map number 1. And this should be a fun one. Again, eyes on that third hard point for RØKKR. If they have made some improvements over the last few days, it will be very, very important to see the changes made there. But here we go, straight into the first. We will be running to all 8 players. Now charging on through. And as we see Chance time and time again, little opening variances, you know, in those micro adjustments, what you do to try to hit this hard point first and foremost. We've stayed on slack this entire push, and it's a nice kill to get things going. Here come the rest of the Mutineers, and this looks like a nice little bit of opening time for RØKKR. No one really able to contest. Here comes the final push, but it is non-stop action here in the opening hard point.
Non-stop action, of course. Well, the goal for Minnesota RØKKR, at the very least, you want to contest. If you're able to flip those spawns, that's great. That's what Accuracy was attempting to think about, but he gets dealt with. The ARs in the feed showing up for Florida. Awakening these guys, get 2 apiece. Get control of the hard point, of course. Well, when you look at the map control that they have, they are sitting nice and pretty to be able to rotate over towards B2.
Over to P2 we go. On board with Slack, having a nice game so far. 3-1 thus far. All the tags in the back end, and we're looking towards those rotations already. The Florida Mutineers already there on that right-hand side of the screen. Tight spawns for them. You can see number 3. That's going to be Slack once again. Back in on it. Straight to the hard point. Neptune from up high, just holding these players from RØKKR back, not letting them make that approach towards the hard point, not able to get their guns up and really deal any damage. And all this is translating in a very good time now for the Florida Mutineers. All good so far, mate. Here comes the first opportunity. Oh, it's a couple of tags for Major Maniac as he's now going to make his way into the back lines. If he can be sniffed out, fantastic. And he will, as Skies. A worthy investment early on. Nice kills going his way. And the clock still ticking in favor of Florida.
And this is going to be a great time for Florida. I mean, they're so far pushed out. Slack is already going on a full flank, thinking about future hills. Turns out there's no one for him to kill, and actually, Florida gives up the back spawns. Neptune did recognize it, though. He's going for the challenge as well, so this is just great spawn awareness all the way around. And we talked about P3 being a problem for Minnesota. Well, if you lose that badly on P2, they gave away about 45 seconds and potentially even some of this scrap time. They're not going to have any control, at least at the start of this new hill. We got to see how they handle it as they're down by 50 points.
Yeah, that's a big deficit to be down, but we saw Paris pull up a big 100-point, comeback against Optic earlier today, so we'll see if we can't find it once again. But now over to the dreaded P3, the third hard point here in this rotation. It's going to be a Florida Mutineers in there first and foremost. What will RØKKR do? How will they make that break? It's got to be somewhat concise, and then you need to see the time go in their way. And so far, it is not working out. Slacks is going to lay prone here, and accuracy. Oh boy, this fight has gone from bad to worse. Still going to hold in the time there. The trades are going to be coming through. And I will say, RØKKR, they've come out a little flat chance right off the rip here. It's still looking very much like Florida's hardpoint.
Very much so. It's never a good sign when Slack is one shot in the hill and the player's not even willing to challenge to take him down. But to Minnesota's credit, at least cleared out a few seconds towards the end. But obviously, no scrap going to go their way. They get bullied out once again. It was a 45-point lead going into it. Well, Florida just runs it up on that third hill. And even more importantly for him, Slack in a nice little spot, pushed out the front end. He can get his teammates from the plane to win a couple of key gunfights. Poised and ready to go for new. He does get taken down, but Florida not too sad about it. They have a very comfortable lead in this game.
My. Well, Florida still now trying to make the break on towards next thing you see. It's a little bit of time early way for the Minnesota RØKKR, but right now I just feel like Florida's gameplay is so squeaky clean. They're looking fantastic. I'd love to have a listen for the comms now. So, without further ado, let's go for an Astro Gaming listen in with the Florida Mutineers.
Yo, top BSC, weak, jump twice. Jump twice for you, weakest
One tube. Done. I'm going point, Caesar block.
Every mid, yo, mid right wing,
what's up?
Yo, bottom right wing, Lamar. Bottom wing, barrel. Lamar, dead.
Front of me, attach one shot. Attach a plane.
And play lay down. Left wing, what's here? He's so close to me. One shot, pressing, absolute hill. Middle point. Left side.
I don't see him. I got left. I plane.
Yo, mid point. He's going our wood stairs. He's putting our wood stairs.
What's up, son?
I have your blood.
Major's weak point. Search. He went cabin. 100%.
Top grade, one shot.
One's ASD.
Wood stairs absolute. We get a stairs absolute. Wood stairs absolute. I don't have a trophy.
Got a choke on you? One here in front.
In the back of the path, dead. Shit on.
Bruce, one shot.
Wood, 50, half wall.
Bruce, the pillar. Half wall, absolute.
Alright, take your time here.
Yeah, take your time here. That's right here.
What's up, okay, I'm going right.
What's up, That's fake flash or Witcher's up. I'm trying to help you.
Yo, Witcher's
you got short plane. Caesar, go work plane. I'm helping you right now. Close to the right.
Half wall, what's up, Mike?
Two hill.
Half wall, Mike.
Half one hill. Let's go.
Yeah, you know
that.
Both Witcher's weak. Same time. One shot.
Stay down the whole time. I have it.
They're both one shot.
I'm in the cabin.
I have a trophy on you.
Yo, they're playing already. Plan on me already.
Me next. I need to hold your side.
Plan again. Lamar's inside cabin.
Absolutely.
Inside of our cabin.
You can push out, Jeff.
I'm not going to talk. Take out. Nice. Good fucking win. Caesar, cut to your left.
Watching the hall.
I'm coming to pro wing.
Yo, in the hall, I'm waiting.
Trying to wrap over left. Hall dead. What's the hall? One left wing.
I think that's point. Oh, BSD, deep right. Coming hill. One is deep right too.
I'm helping you.
Chance, it sounds like a dominant Mutineers. They have full control of the game. You can hear the comms sounding absolutely crisp so far, mate. Anything that stood out to you?
I mean, really, just how unproblematic everything was for him. Even when they lose the spawns for P5, 10 seconds later, you hear the call out. I spawn in the back, you flip, nice job. It's just a comfortable game so far for Florida. But as you pointed out, we have seen 100-point comebacks on this map before. You can certainly chain some hills together. Minnesota trying to set themselves up long term. Inside the actual point, they're able to get that clearance on the plane. And of course, you see those spawns as well. So far, so good for Minnesota. Trying to chip away at the, well, now 80-point deficit that they found themselves in.
It's quite a hole to dig themselves out of, but they certainly can get it done. The contest has been great so far. It's going to be a nice two-piece from accuracy. It's going to now make the point all RØKKRs. And that was almost a great stick. Wow, that could have been a close one, but accuracy still keeping the run alive. 3 kills in a row here on the point. There's a minute left. Oh, sorry, a minute over towards the next hard point. What a brain fart that really was. Florida, though, on the approach now. This is the first time we've seen RØKKR manage to get this P2 right off the rip. And it's going to be Priester there in the point. There's 2 players towards that left-hand side, and it is a heavy hit from Florida through the left. They're going to be punching right on through. Neptune, great shots. A little bit of help from Attach now as Priester holds the point, but slacked. He's on his way forward, and it's a massive win from Priester. Good stuff from him up close and in much closer range than I think Skies would like to be there with the Krig. Is going to be the push continuing from Florida. And all things considered, it's been a great hold from RØKKR. We could be seeing that comeback that we very much teased a moment ago, but chance, this is the second now push we're going to see from Florida. Is this going to be any better? We'll find out in just a moment, because Skies, once again, big shots. Man with a Krig can't take care of Attach either. And Priester wins another big one. Mate, it's looking great.
Looking great. Minnesota clearly did their homework. Yesterday when Florida played on this map on P2 and they had to break, they were constantly flooding through the Tetris side of the map. Well, who's over there this time around? Attach was over there for the latter half. Goes on a spree. You never lose those spawns. In Minnesota, when they're able to get set up in a hill and control it, they do great. But now we're back to P3. They're not here first. This hill has been an issue for them. Well, Florida so far so good. First 15 seconds go cleanly their way. Priester can make use of the split spawns and try to make a play. Yeah, there's an opportunity here. Again, it is all eyes on number 8 right now. Priester, there he goes. Awakening here, the eyes on him. He certainly found the kill. It's a bit of a push now happening from yellow side, but Skies! Oh, baby, what a two-piece that was. Massive wins. That's not what you want for Minnesota. This is easily going to be a nice big of a push now in the scoreboard for Florida. What a run it will be. Going to crack over that 200-point mark. RØKKR now have the opportunity to maybe get a bit of a break towards the final few moments here, and it's going to stop them for the time being, but it's not really going to be enough. Overall, though, you will be seeing RØKKR hopefully pick up a few more moments in the next hard points, but chance, all things considered, at P3, they have not been able to fine-tune. It has not been kind to them. Massive wins, though. I will say the hill might not have been kind, but that is both the ARs right there from Minnesota RØKKR getting the clean wipe on the hill. Anytime you got the ARs winning the one-on-ones, that is where you thrive, and maybe even accuracy. You can start thinking about some score streaks. He was able to spot out 2 players going on the backside of the plane, and you can actually see Minnesota responding to it. They got both their SMGs hunting down those players around the plane, and this has been very early, very comfortable time for Minnesota to get. Love what we're seeing so far.
Priester just ran over Neptune. He just walked straight over him. Oh my goodness. He quite literally trod on the back of a living player, and with that, he's now going to be punished. The hard point flips right over. Not that it was entirely his fault, but what an unusual turn of events. Oh my word. Mutineers now in control. 20 seconds remaining on this one. They've got players on point. Bodies are there. Guns are up. They do also have a little bit of presence towards the next one as well. So, nice break from Major Maniac. Last few seconds there. Awakening's been here to make this interesting. And he does indeed. Good hold so far. Still, you have RØKKR in position for the next. But big wake. Once again, it's going to be more shots either side. Accuracy finally stops it. And here comes the opening for the next hard point. RØKKR with a decent amount of control on that side of the map. They're going to need all these seconds because, again, it's 20 points now for the win for the Florida Mutineers. RØKKR trying to hold this one down. Priester there on point. Major Maniac towards the backside of Graffiti on the top side of your screen. Priester loses the gunfight there. Oh boy, Neptune now with an opportunity to come closer. This is going to drag the rest of the Mutineers out of position and right into Neptune. And oh baby, the kills are going to keep going back and forth. Over to Big Wake now, making his way forward. Chance. There's 30 seconds remaining on this point. The battle raging upstairs in the plane, and it's going to be won by RØKKR for now. Keeps these players off the point. And oh my, it is back and forth here on the 5th hard point.
This is just so tough for Minnesota. I mean, on this hill, it is operation just stay alive inside the point. Priester just kept falling when he's over on the pillar spot. Finally, though, they get the clearance, but I'll say for Florida, they got to be very happy with that. You go into P5, you don't give up that full 60. When it comes to playing control, Slack, big gunfights to win with the SMG, and he's taking his time with it. He gets pinched in. And Attach now the last man standing for RØKKR, Florida. They get the early clearance. 10 seconds away. Minnesota's got a flood, and maybe I talked too long. It might be too late. Minnesota now spawning so far out. Awakening with the ARs. Got all the coverage in the world. In Minnesota, again, they keep it closed, but they don't have enough gas in the tank. Florida Mutineers take map number 1.
I hate to say it, man, but it's exactly what you brought up with the stats. It's exactly that. It's a tight finish. It's Minnesota just being unable to close out in those dying seconds of the hard point. Props where props are due. Awakening and the boys, the Florida Mutineers, came out swinging. They set themselves up for greatness in that first set. It was a wonderful bed to work with. They really set themselves up for success. Not a lot of sweat going into the second one, even with the comebacks being made there by RØKKR. Again, it just begs the question, if RØKKR can have a strong start in a hard point, that middle game where they've got a little bit of time to mess around with and enjoy themselves more, you don't necessarily have to have, you know, a close finish or a tight finish. You can kind of get away with that scrap time there. But either way, Florida Mutineers getting it done there in map 1. And Big Wake clearly had his beauty sleep, because the last time we saw him on our screens, he wasn't all that, and he seems to be back to his tremendous things.
Tremendous things, and I will say I really think Florida just able to capitalize on a couple key mistakes. Again, even Priest towards that final hill, just kind of tossing away his life instead of staying alive inside the point. But for me, it's about that P3. We had 5 total seconds for Minnesota RØKKR, and on the flip side, I can't even count that high, a minute and a half or above. P3 domination from the Florida Mutineers, and of course, well, remember back to it, that's when Awakening was picking up multi-kills. That's where Skies was going on his spree. It is just that hill. I think maybe the ARs just can't really find their rhythm for Minnesota.
Icon, I'm pissed, dude. What the heck, bro? That was the map. That was the map. RØKKR feeling pretty good about Checkmate hardpoint, as you could tell by the vetoes. Florida, would you say they were 0-3 on Checkmate hardpoint?
Yep.
And now, listen, obviously RØKKR's not the team that's been dominated in hardpoint. 2-8 and now 2-9 in the game mode. Very frustrating to watch. Just even as a person, a part of the organization, I'm sure you fans are upset too. I still believe in the guys. I still believe the guys have the resolve to bounce back in this Express S&D. But tell me some key points, you know, from that map 1 hardpoint. What went wrong? What is happening?
It was the last point that I made before the match started, is what's going to happen in that AR and Flex matchup, because I felt like the SMG in that SMG matchup, I felt like Minnesota had an advantage. But when you're looking at Skies and Awakening, at any point in time, either one of those have the ability to just drop a 35 bomb, and you come back after the match and you're like, what the heck just happened? And that's what we saw. I mean, SMGs from Florida didn't really play well at all, but Skies dropped like 32 or 33, and Awakening was shredding. And that map is tough, because if your SMG and Flex is playing really well, like those contested hard points, P3, P4, that are right in the middle of the map, there's so much open space to run from spawn over towards P3 that your SMG or your AR and your Flex can just get set up on a heady. And as you try to sprint in, there's nowhere for you to hide. So we'll see what happens, but you have to counter what Awakening and Skies can do from the AR and Flex positions.
Yeah, Awakening and Skies were absolutely going off. Just didn't see the teamwork come together from RØKKR until it was too late. That's just kind of been the tale of hardpoint this whole season for us, really. But exciting news. Search and Destroy is next. Our best game mode. Express Search and Destroy. We actually haven't played this map yet, so I'm really excited to see how the guys look. This is actually a map from Black Ops 2, my favorite Call of Duty of all time, and it plays wonderfully for Search. So you're hoping a good Search team is going to be good at an instant classic Search map back from 2013. Let's see if the guys can bounce back. We'll let you guys watch the map too here with us. I'll be in the chat with you guys, and Icon and I will be back after the Search. See you then.
Welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We're going to talk some Caesar Skies Bueno right now. The man had a wonderful map number 1. But Chance, I mean, all in all, like 32 and 20. It's a 1.6 overall in map number 1. Beautiful start. Skies wasn't the beast we expected him to be in stage 1. Like, let's be honest.
Well, it's when you zero in on his stats, right? You just see some inconsistencies, because occasionally he would have games where he would completely pop off, but then overall throughout the course of all the stage, obviously not really showing it too much. And I will say, if his respawns aren't too clean, at least statistically, I'm not too worried about it, right? Because if you throw him on Checkmate on an AR heavy map, you can see what he's going to bring to the table. But I'd say for him, man, that Search and Destroy, I know him to be an S&D wizard. So far, he has not been showing that off. Now, admittedly, maybe his teammates occasionally taking the limelight. Awakening at times will just not leave his teammates too many kills, but I think Skies really needs to zero in on his Search gameplay, pick it up just a bit, because for Florida 3-7 overall. Not the finest record to have, and well, against a team like Minnesota, that would be the perfect time to show off your stuff.
Yeah, we'll see how they go now on Express. Of course, guys, we'll see what he can conjure up here. But if anything, you have to look towards the master of the dark arts awakening. He has been the search and destroy powerhouse for this team. But again, when we go back to the series against Seattle, it was Neptune putting up those big numbers as well. So there's an interesting balance right now where you have these like two titans who are really dealing a lot of damage in these games early on. Not necessarily always able to close out or capitalize on that. But again, mate, you brought it up in the keys to victory. It's about the first bloods. You want to see the first bloods really be made the most of here for the Florida Mutineers. A dangerous team in search and destroy, it has to be said for RØKKR. But have they been able to shake off the stanky legs that they had yesterday? We'll find out as we now get ourselves into Express. Starting to enjoy the Express,
And
man.
it's also worth saying, Express is great, but it will be interesting to watch Florida play because they have, 10 S&Ds played over the course of Stage 1 and Stage 2 so far. 9 of them are either Checkmate or Miami. So we never get to see this team on sort of a fresh map, and this is as fresh as it gets. So it'll be interesting to look at. And there's the first bloods you're looking for, and it's Caesar Skies Bueno that gets it, and Slack there for the follow-up. Quick start, admittedly, though, attached. Well, tries to make it interesting, but it's in a 1 versus 3.
Oh boy, I mean, that happened quick. So 1v2, let's go, Attach. Can you get the full team? They're holding hands. The other two are working together towards that B bomb site, and Attach now, he's going to cross tracks, try to make some progress here. Slacked and Skies versus Attach in this 2v1 situation. And again, I've said it just a moment ago, but this is for the whole team. If Attach can pull this one off, what a wonderful way to start this search and destroy. Skies, he sees him, catches him in the back, not able to get away with it. It's a nice round from the Florida Mutineers. They didn't let that one get away from them.
I mean, and at least for Florida, that is exactly what you want to see. Yes, Attach can make things spicy, but really that is all about the opening break. You're able to pick off the AR player. Skies gets that first blood. Makes your job that much easier for your SMGs to now fly up on the bomb. And well slacked, no time wasted there for the trades. They get the bomb down, get that full control. You see sort of a mix match of what teams like to do on defense. A lot of it is just sort of force stacking either bomb site, sometimes aggressive towards B, or sometimes just trusting your retakes, but force it through and get the picks. Florida happy for it. And well, talking about four stacks, Minnesota does not care. They got the 2-2 split going on.
We're going to see these assault rifle battles all year long over by the bottom side of the terminal there. Restart by tickets now, just trying to watch these players on the approach. And he doesn't know how many members of Florida are so close to him. Again, you have to have that internal sort of game clock, understanding exactly where those players could be off the rip. And again, Florida have run forward, pumped the brakes. Now you've got Priester having to guess these corners. If he gets a little too ambitious and too eager, he is going to run into a corridor full of Mutineers players. There's the opening shots. Priester's now going to have to make a decision. We hold the line, let his boys come forward and help out. Now Awakening's going to make that choice for him. Takes him down. First blood. Major Maniac immediately answering back, but it's Neptune. Too hot on the trigger. Accuracy from behind. Takes care of Awakening. But once again, here comes the push. And what a wonderful bit of two-play there from RØKKR. Accuracy not hitting a single bullet into his teammate. And with that, Skies, the comms have gone dead. Where are my teammates? Now I'm all alone. There's just over 20 seconds remaining chance. And RØKKR, what a recovery that was.
And Skies right now expecting a rotation that's simply not coming through, and that stun perfectly timed. They know exactly where it is, but the read is there. Not a difference made. Accuracy with the Kobe to get the stick towards the very end to seal the deal. That is a nice little, was that a 2v4? Just a 2v3 for these two guys at the end.
Just towards the end there, was the first from Accuracy. Here comes Attach over his left shoulder. The crossfire was perfect. Man, I applaud the aggression from Mutineers, but it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. They ran into that perfect trap. He's weak, he's weak. The little crying girl from Monsters Inc. there. It's one shot on stairs.
I'm so scared. No, it was perfectly done though, man. That's a super quick 2v4 just to get the confidence flowing. I'd say for the flip side for Florida, like, that is just tough. You gotta wipe the tears away. See if you can bounce back on defense.
Away we go. We've seen 2-2 splits, and now we're going to put the 2-2 away, and we're going to be dancing over to the A site with at least 3 members now of RØKKR. Players push the bomb, but Awakening, he's going to see all those, everything flying around, little cans and whatnot. A nice stick from Attach to open the round up. Wonderful work. Going to get the bomb down quickly. You see the bullets coming there from the inside of the terminal, just trying to find anyone's head in that situation. Not going to be found. Slack now Right place, right time. Major Maniac finds himself on the wrong sides of the tracks, and this is going to be a 3v2 now. Mutineers have to make their way towards the bomb, but you can see the setup right now. We have all angles covered. Nice spot from Attach. Wonderful place to be in. Not going to work out. Priester wins the gunfight downstairs. Attach, eyes on skies. Cuts him down as well. RØKKR find the round.
Oh, it's super clean stuff as well. Was it Attach that got the stick at the start of the round with the Semtex? I can't quite remember, but it was him. Yeah, then he just had a phenomenal round. I would say something that sort of caught my eye, though. We talked about this, at least me and you personally, a lot about Skies and his wallbang spots he had all throughout last year. I think he was trying to shoot the guy off bomb through the trains when he was over by B. And it kind of seemed like he was getting close. So talk about nerdy players or a guy who knows the map down to the last detail. This guy's certainly in that category, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, again, Skies are really, I wouldn't say creative, but a player that's willing to take risks, especially when it comes to the geometry and the I want to say structural tension of most of these maps. But Awakening and Neptune, you can see them on the left-hand side of the screen trying to make their way towards A, 2-2 split once again. You can see them pushing towards B now as Mutineers, they're going to be getting aggressive. They're going to try to lead this one forward. Awakening now coming in a little bit slower, but he will have that cut off towards the center of the tickets. Slacked very close on towards the bomb site. You know those players are there. Who's going to make the play first? Oh, Slacked. Attach is there, waiting for it. Attach. The first shots are in. The second are good as well. Wonderful stuff as Dylan finds himself a few more. I believe that's 5 kills in a row for him. I could be crazy.
Correct, you're right.
Thank God. Thank God. As he has had quite the search so far. And here come a few more. Priester, perfect timing on the push. Skies does manage to slow down the spree for now. Oh boy, sees a bueno. That lands it. A little bit of time now is going to go for the quick plant. Here comes Accuracy. So Accuracy charging his way through middle. Will the bomb go down? The sticky lands, and that's going to be good enough to get the job done. Accuracy, heads up play. It's going to be 3-1.
And there are two things right now going incredibly well for the Minnesota RØKKR. The first one is just Attached by default. A 5 spree for him, picks up the 2-piece, and more importantly, just the patient plays, right? He definitely is going to hear Slacked when he's sliding around the bomb. He knows he's there, but doesn't get baited by it. Plays it an extra couple seconds to make sure you catch him when he's actually trying to get that bomb down. So job well done on that front. And then the second thing is just the nades. I mean, we had, 2 rounds in a row where some stick was coming through on one player or another. Even this round, Accuracy saving the Semtex until that final moment. Getting the job done with utility.
Shout for Awakening. He's just planted himself inside the center of the train there. Right smack bang in the middle, making sure that no one can creep through. The bomb's already got far forward. If Awakening checks this, and he will. Oh, there's the tags. Skies once again on the inside of the terminal. Here comes that wallbang should they commit towards the A site. But again, I think for Florida right now, it's just hold the line. RØKKR hoping for an opening pick. That's not going to help. Awakening just nerves of steel. Holds the line. A nice equalizer there from Attach. It's going to be a 3v2 as we do lose Accuracy to Skies. Oh, and Skies from behind. The villain stabs him in the back. 3-1 now. As Major Maniac yet to find a kill, but again, he's more of that point player. Like, he's always on the flank. He's the guy doing the absolute dirty work. And right now, it's a 1v2. He's really putting in the work. Slow and steady. He's got a bit of time to work with. It's 30 seconds there. Skies may have caught wind of him there as he transitioned out to the top of the catwalk, but I don't know. Major Maniac chance he could be in a position to do this.
I mean, this is what he does. This is when we get to watch this man work, but unfortunately for him, time is ticking off the clock, and these two players still around the bomb site. You can definitely hear one coming through. Finds the pick on Skies with 12 seconds left. Awakening just got to play it around the bomb.
Okay, so he's on the other side of the train. The bomb's going to have enough time to go down. Again, if you're Awakening right now...
And Awakening can't mantle. Awakening hurt him for sure, but he can't mantle on the train.
He couldn't make it up to the top of the train, so he's going to have to go through the train. Major Maniac's going to check it. Oh my God! Oh, Awakening just from above! He finally makes it there, and the minimap was somewhat deceptive, but either way, the audio cues there must have given it for Awakening. Like, he got on top of the train, he managed to make quite a bit of noise. Major Maniac must have assumed he was down low, but that would have been one hell of a 1v3 here on Express.
Oh, dude, that was so just smartly played by both of those guys towards the end. I think the biggest thing, right, Awakening on the other side of the trains, he's definitely going to hear Major Maniac sort of jump down towards the bomb, but if he mantles in the train, he gets hurt. Major Maniac's got an AK-74U, probably wins the gunfight. So Awakening actually has to run, 20, 25 feet down the tracks, hop up from there to not make the sound that Major Maniac can hear. And of course, Awakening knew basically he had him trapped somewhere around the bomb, so just hunts him down, but great job by both teams, honestly, but a big round for Florida to get. Just a even these odds.
Again, it's dangerous, as you said. Like, we get to watch the man work. Like, letting Major Maniac set up and really play this the way he wants to was a sight to behold. Slower start now. No awakening. We'll find out if that's a problem or not for the Florida Mutineers. Flash check guarantees it. Now it's a 1v1 against Neptune and Tatch. Oh my god, Neptune's movement as he pirouettes around the bomb site there and finds another set of kills. That is huge from him, even with the help from accuracy. Now Skies, watching the flank, does it perfectly. Once again, it's Major Maniac in a 1v3. Very different position to work from now. He's going to win these fights decisively because they are on the hunt. Fast movement right now. Oh boy, up over the top, bro! I'm not sure who that was. Man, he killed him fast. Now all of a sudden it's 3-3.
Flying through the air on Florida, that would be Neptune. That would be Neptune pretty much 100% of the time. But Caesar Skies bueno, man. Again, he was, what, 38th overall in the CDL out of 48 through stage 1 in Search and Destroy KD. I believe he's either 9-4 or 10-4 in this game right now. And the first pick that he got at the round, by the way, mapped somebody with the Krig going from tunnel to tunnel and then having the awareness to watch the flank. There you go, 9-4. Fantastic performance for him. This is the Caesar Skies of old.
Yeah, looking like a little bit of MW Caesar Skies, a little bit of BO4. He had his moments there as well. And stage 2 looking nice. Slacked and Skies find their kills right off the rip, and already Neptune. Whoa, baby! Oh, Neptune! Okie dokie. Talk about flying off the top rope in the previous round. He's like, hey guys, I got these moves. If I'm airborne, I just don't seem to die. So let's just do 2 more wild plays. Neptune with the openings, and what a round that was.
And thinking about how young this team is, with the exception of Slack, like none of these guys, and if they played Black Ops 2, they were like 9 years old at the time. I kind of want to hear the comms from Neptune just be like, hey Slacks, man, you just tell me what you want me to do. I'll make it happen. It's not a big deal. Just feed me something. But his level of aggression has to be so difficult to play against at times. And of course, well, you talk about the aggression from one man and then Florida's ability just to slow things down. The ARs go to work. Nice little passive push on offense for Florida, just looking for information, but so far they have none.
It's the kind of thing that messes with a game plan. Like, no matter where you are, what kind of setup you've got, you're like, well, he just pushed me. What the hell? I'm dead. And all of a sudden, he's in your safe space. You're in trouble. Look at the minimap now, up over the top. You see the pressure now on the A site, more defensively heavy there for RØKKR, but now they're going to have to make the move in towards B. We're going to see some individual gunfights start to creep on up. Major Maniac, hello, is going to find Awakening from behind. Decisively done, gets him taken care of. That's one flank now, that bit more dangerous on the defense. The bomb does go down, 35 seconds on that clock. Attach. Oh, he's been in this situation before versus Skies. He's going to win it this time. Slack now going to make his way forward. Neptune from up high now, where it likes to be. What will he find in this round? There's a nice shot on to the first. Major Maniac making his way forward as well. Caught out on the transition. That's going to be huge. Major Maniac now. It's a 1v1, and he lands it against Slacked as well with a little bit of time to spare. That's going to be a great defuse and a brilliant equalizer there for RØKKR to not let this Search and Destroy get any more hairy.
And this is just a dogfight of a game, too. Major Maniac putting in work that round. I mean, how many times have we seen someone, whether it's Major Maniac or even Attached, try to flank and either Skies or Awakening just sniffs him out, hunts him down? This time it's Major Maniac that comes out on top of that gunfight. And after that, well, Florida completely trapped on B. Minnesota RØKKR, of course, can take their time. You had a nice gunfight, win from Attached. And, of course, the clearance there towards the end. But back and forth game so far we've got for ourselves. Neither team quite able to establish any sort of dominance. Maybe we'll get around 11 or the team will be able to force it through. But it's going to be RØKKR back on the attack. And well, instead of trying to flood in any one direction, Major Maniac, again, the island player. The opportunity for him to be the playmaker is that bomb going towards A.
Yeah, again, that's why we don't see him typically get too many kills. If he's coming into a losing round, it's late and he's struggling a little bit, but there we go. This is a nice opener here from Attach once again. Great awareness. That Semtex, oh, huge amount of information. Awakening's either inside of the train or near the A site. He's got a teammate to back him up. Major Maniac once again, right place, right time. Cerebral plays from the man. It's a 4v2. Neptune and Awakening, they got a lot of gun skill between them and they may be able to just bully their way out of this situation. But Major Maniac, oh, baby, he punches his ticket in train. And with that, we are on map point RØKKR.
Map point RØKKR, and again, just to sort of backtrack, you talk about Minnesota RØKKR's just methodical play style. they don't make a ton of mistakes. Everything they do is efficient, has a point to it. Major Maniac is going to be timing these flanks when action starts to pop up on the other side of the maps. But the problem is with the island player, if your teammates just get first blooded, then it just becomes tougher because then they can worry about the flank. But if your teammates win those first gunfights, then you're just going to win the round. First bloods are king, and attached delivered last time around. This time, Florida. Bit of a 2-2 split. They're thinking about this B site, but you can see Minnesota right there. Attachment. Or actually, Priesta playing the old spot inside the ticket booth. Florida has been punished from that spot before.
Scary situation for Attach to be in right now because, again, you can actually climb on top of that info box. You'll hear it for sure, but it becomes a bit of a guessing game. But here we go. Skies. A little too curious. Curiosity killed the bueno. Oh, Attach finds one more. Slack now is going to make his way in to try to find the weakened player. Neptune's going to be one to get it. Now it's a 2v2. Slack to Neptune going up against Accuracy and Major Maniac. Two very distinct playstyles there. Accuracy's going to be more stationary. Major Maniac should be the one moving around a little bit more. They have one bomb site each now on the defense. Slacked. Ian Neptune now with the opportunity to possibly overwhelm Major Maniac here by the bomb. But, oh, it's a quiet plant. Major Maniac peeks, doesn't get anything, doesn't see a thing. A slip slide out, makes it a 1v1. And with that, the bomb does go down. Neptune versus Accuracy. RØKKR, this is for the map. Florida, this is to push us to a round 11. Neptune down low, it's a perfect read, the right place, the right time. Accuracy, old iron boots, clambering through the stairs, and that's it. Last round chance. Oh, who takes it?
Love a good round 11. Get to see who ends up on offense as well. I will say, though, Attach has been putting in work for Minnesota this game. Needs a little bit more help. Nice adjustments for Slack again. Ticket boost spot has been a problem. He makes the read on Priesta, but gotta get those first bloods as well. Priesta struggling at 2-9 for the moment. And it will be Minnesota on the attack. And Major Maniac not going to be the island player. They are sticking as 4. They are pushing this straight towards A. They're going to be meeting 3 players from Florida.
Well, they're hoping to, again, overwhelm the limited defenders here on the A site. There's 3 of them. They're all down low. You could hit the pinch if you really wanted to. Neptune's still got the close side of lockers. A little bit of eyes on towards A. They do have an assault rifle, I think. Well, actually, no. They're bringing everyone forward. They're all inside this room. Awakening's going to be up first. Here comes the gunfights. Trays are there, and Priesta wins the 2 of them. A big kill now from Skies in from behind.
Oh,
it's a 2v1, and just like that, Priesta's got to go big. Priesta's got to go big, and the 1v1 gets slacked. He just about gets it done, but here comes the aggression now from Skies. Bringing the fight forward from up high. He's got his number, baby! Skies from up high, atop of the train, lands the shots. Seemingly effortless, but what a play on the flank that was. The gamble did not pay off there from RØKKR in the final push towards A. And they came so unbelievably close, Chance, but that is going to be 2-0 in the series for Florida.
Florida taking down the S&D. That just feels like a dagger in my mind. And who the hell would you least expect it? The man living in the darkness making the full flank. Not often the main ARs that are taking their time to go all the way around, but makes the read, gets the kill, gets the pinch, and the clutch falls thereafter. But just solid stuff. Again, this is a team that we have almost 0 looks from them in search outside of Miami and Checkmate. Well, there's a taste of Express there for you. Looks nice and clean from top to bottom. Everybody on Florida putting in work.
Huge amount of work. I mean, again, damage-wise, it was predominantly Skies, but 12 and 7 for him. I just want to talk about RØKKR in that situation. I mean, round after round, you saw the wins from RØKKR were so much more interesting. They were so much more clinical. There are those great moments from them. I don't know what it is. Like, their search game's now starting to lack a little bit. Of course, they've got their issues in hardpoint. I'm not to say like I'm worried about RØKKR in any way, because I feel like it's 1 or 2 good calls, 1 or 2 rounds go their way, and all of a sudden they're a top team. Like
Icon. That one is tough to watch. I mean, we just had a few tough to watch matches or maps in a row. We had the first 2 here, and then you've got the match yesterday. Tough to watch. We go down 0-2 now, on the threat of being 3-0 again for the 2nd day in a row. Express S&D, that we look good, we look bad. You know, Major Maniac and Priest are really struggling seemingly. You know, what's Attach went off, dude. Accuracy too was winning what he could. Like, is Florida just that team right now? Because we mentioned, you know, both of these teams kind of on the ropes, need this win really bad. Did they just come to play today? What's going on?
First thing I'll say is that in that round 11, when they were on offense, I was happy to see them be aggressive and push the issue. Because yesterday in the Miami S&D, when it came to round 11, they just played too passive. And by the time they finally made a move, the pinch was in, the crossfire was there. There was nothing they could do. So at least they switched it up a little bit in this round 11, and they just tried to hit it. Unfortunately, Priestahh did get that two-piece, but before he got that two-piece right by Bomb, basically everybody else went down. Skies hit the flank, was able to take out accuracy from behind, ended up being a 1v1. Priestahh did a really nice job getting it to a 1v1, but he tried to escape. He knew Skies was all the way back in their tunnel, so I think he just tried to get away. If he gets around that corner, then there's a few options, right? He can hit the bomb at the top side of the map, or he can just kind of play those mid tunnels. So he just wasn't able to get away, but at least, and that was a push that we hadn't seen yet either. So at least, you know what, they went with aggression. They tried to get the bomb down. It just didn't work out, but at least they tried something different. So the only bad part about this is that Skies is freaking frying. Skies is going off, and sometimes, like last year, he was that MVP candidate, and if he's playing like this, they're tough to deal with.
Yeah, he's been someone that we've been really surprised so far this year to see Skies not playing up to his potential that we all saw and know he has from last year. You know, I agree with what you said. You know, I love the aggression there on the round 11. They didn't get, oh, let's play for a pick. Like they went, no, let's go. Like Priestahh gets an insane two-piece, three-piece maybe even after like having a really tough game. And then that flank, I think it was Awakening that came around on the flank and nailed accuracy. That, you know, if for some, you know, COD timing goes a little different right there, accuracy gets that, and then, you know, Priest is safe. So it's, you just hate to see them lose such close matches or maps like that when you know that they have the pieces to win. These are very winnable for RØKKR. So speaking of winnable for RØKKR, though, Control Checkmate. We actually haven't seen them play this map. That's not a good feeling. Yeah, I don't know if there's a reason for that. Like maybe they consistently veto it. Maybe it's because the league teams seem to be favoring raid checkpoint. Sorry, they seem to favor that map. It seems a little more balanced. Looking at this Checkmate, we know it's a defensively favored map. What do you think RØKKR has to do to like just get on the dub, get a dub? Like let's get some momentum. What do you think they have to do next?
Checkmate Control is tough because once you win the team gunfight mid-map, again, just like the hardpoint, you have so far to run from your spawn to get back to those points that are in the middle of the map that if your Flex and AR are frying, they have the opportunity to just get set up on a heady, literally the same exact thing that we saw in map 1, and just shoot people as they try to run towards those points. So in this, that's why like earlier in the year, Optic lost that. It was like an 11-4 man advantage against New York, and that's how they ended up getting bounced out of stage 1, is that they were playing cautiously. They were trying to get one more set of kills, and even though they had a 7 life advantage, you go all down mid-map, and now it's basically impossible to get back to those points. You have no cover. You have to run through just this wide open abyss to try to get back, and it's just tough to do. So when you're looking ahead to Checkmate Control, accuracy and Major Maniac, you have to get kills against Awakening and Skies in those wide open areas of the map. If they can do that, then they got a chance. But you got to step up and win those gun battles.
Absolutely easier to say than to do. Skies and Awakening looking really good, really top players. Not that our guys aren't. I mean, I think, you know, on our best day, like this is a very winnable match. This is a very, you know, winnable game. So we'll have to see how it goes. As we mentioned yesterday, so Florida Mutineers actually lost to Seattle Surge in group play. So they lost a match that they probably weren't really expecting to. RØKKR goes down 0-3 to Paris. Terrible match to watch, if I'm honest. Good thing we had you guys here in the chat to kind of group together and show some love. But, you know, both of these teams lost to teams they maybe thought that they shouldn't have. So they're both really like the backs are against the wall. In this group, you still have Optic. You still have Dallas. This is a scary group. This is a must-win map for RØKKR. Let's see what they can do. We'll kick it back over to the main broadcast, and Icon and I will be back right after the map.
This is obviously, it's a focal point of the team. Until they figure this out, it could be a really bad matchup for teams at the top because of how good their search is. And then all the teams towards the middle or even towards the bottom, they're going to be good matchups against Minnesota because it almost feels like some of the respawns are just going to be free.
Could be. I mean, we'll find out as we go now into that Checkmate control, or Checkmate as I've started calling it in the playlist, because this one could be a toughie. We're like the results now for RØKKR. I think they're 0-1. It's not Garrison. It's not their favorite. Of course, they did get vetoed out. So we'll see how this one rolls, Chance, because this could be done and dusted here. This could be the 3-0. Florida looking to really put their feet up and enjoy the rest of the show today. I'm sure many of you are, and we hope you are enjoying the show. But here we go, mate. Into Checkmate once again. Control. We've got Florida up 2-0 in the series. This could well be the last one we see. But RØKKR, plenty of magic left in those sleeves. Let's see what they've got.
It is worth mentioning from the side of Florida as well. They might have struggled yesterday or the other day against Seattle, but where they found their success was in the control, and it was on this map. I think they got the 3-0 sweep, winning 2 offensive rounds. So Florida certainly capable of flipping that switch, and Minnesota obviously is going to need to keep them contained. There's actually a B hit off the rip for Minnesota as well. Aggressive under the plane.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, nice trades going away. Oh, so far it's 2-2. I was going to say it's all good in the hood, but it ain't good anymore, baby. Your boy Big Wake is back up to the plate and he's swinging. Nice 2-piece for him there. And already life count starting to get a bit squirrely. Neptune still staying alive. That would have been a huge win. The trades are all good though. And Skies still bringing the rage upstairs. Top plane. I mean, this is aggressive. Back over towards the A zone we go. Quick decap. We're going to drain that tick. So, immediately on to B we go. Not the most orthodox plays here from RØKKR. Trying to just create some kind of disheveled push now out of Mutineers. Still got accuracy on B. Like, he's almost done the first tick. And there it is. It's done. So we're seeing progress across the board here for RØKKR. Nice way to get things going early on.
Yeah, those nades, though, on point from both sides. Unfortunately, maybe no trophies just off the rip yet. Too early in the game. And, well, it's going to be a little bit costly towards the RØKKR, but still, they got 2 ticks of progression to A. Looking for the third. Well, Sky's looking for the hero play. Wins both gunfights against the subs. Those are his first 2 kills. Neither gunfight would I expect him to win it, but he comes up big, and well, now Slack feeding his team information. He's got 3 kills, and he's telling his team, hey, everybody else, they're coming from P2. Get your ARs over there. Slack can just take his time and be annoying and play a couple corners. Wins the gunfight against Priesta. That is 3 down. This is Florida looking to turn things around and crank this pressure up.
Oh, here it comes, man. They are cranked right now. Slack's on a 5 spree. That 2-piece from Skies saved the A zone. Absolutely saved the A zone. And without A, B becomes the next open target, and you don't have to worry so much about crossfire. That's the playbook right now for the Checkmate control. Here we go, though. A little bit of breathing room to work with. Attached with a nice kill onto Neptune. 2 players in on A already. There's the contest. The trade should come through. It's accuracy winning his fight over towards A. This is very, very important right now. And again, no one in the contest just yet. You still now, for Florida Mutineers, playing for more B control. Here goes Priesta, trying to clear out the top plane. Reaching clear, finds one, dips in and out straight away. Love to see this aggressive play. There goes the A zone gone. 1 minute 22 on the clock. Bit of a team kill comes through, but this could be an opportunity to stack over in towards that B site. B zone, rather, and maybe make a bit of a dent here. But wow, RØKKR, fantastic recovery.
Yeah, Minnesota right now playing this like Surge. They're just looking for the kills. They actually spotted Slack, so he's in a bit of a tough spot right now, but Priest, the man that shoots at him, ends up getting taken down.
Ooh.
And the pressure that RØKKR might have had on the map becomes stagnant. Skies and attach. Nice little standoff towards A-bomb.
Major Maniac top plane control. Oh, there's the nade, Skies. Oh, in that game of chicken, he comes out on top. Now looking over towards the player in top plane again. Great awareness, great comms so far for Florida. You can tell that they are firing together. Awakening with a sub slide right under the kill feed. 40 seconds remaining now. Not a really good effort in on towards the B zone just yet. You're seeing RØKKR just take a couple of pokes, couple of jabs here or there as they make their way forward, but nothing decisive enough to really push Mutineers off balance. Awakening now, straight on towards the point. 25 seconds left. Not going to jump in there. Doesn't want to give the information away. And here comes the slide out. I love this awareness. That's going to be the contest. We are watching Big Wake at his finest here. Priest is going to make the reads, though. Gets kills. We like to see it. 24 seconds remaining now. Chance. Second tick almost done. Slack just about wins the first. The second. They don't get the second tick on B. Now you're going to be seeing that one player on the point drain it. Major Maniac could make his way forward. Look at the clock, though. 15 seconds as well. Got to get going, mate. Quick contest. The final two members of the Florida Mutineers. And the final two members now of RØKKR. Oh boy, and now it's a 1v2, a 1v1. Slack drop high. Gotta make his accuracy. Will he win the fight? He does just about. Wow, it quite literally came down to the final man. What a round that was.
Oh my God, and what a heartbreaker of a round that's got to be from Minnesota, right? Like, think about all the things Florida had to do just to win the 1v1 towards the end. It took Slack going on a 5 or 6 spree, setting up the spawn kills. It took Florida getting all of the map control in the world at a certain point on defense, but eventually giving it up. And I think, honestly, most importantly, the two-piece that Skies got, I got to see that from Minnesota's perspective, because it had to have been just completely chopped up, because not gunfights you expect Priest or Attached to lose for that matter. Not able to trade out the one-shot Skies, but honestly, a hell of a try, I'd say, for Minnesota RØKKR. So close yet so far. Now they're going to need to clutch up on defense. I guess the good news, you lose the offensive round, at least the life count was literally as close as it could be.
Indeed. Well, with Minnesota now on defense, I'd love to hear it from the mouths of RØKKR themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, time for a quick Astro Gaming listen-in with Minnesota RØKKR.
Jerry's one shot on your beat. Jerry's one shot on your beat. He's low B wing. Jerry's low B wing. I'm back top lane. He flashed me in alley. Top lane. He's on B. Caesar alley. Caesar. Drop the nade on him. Winging dock. Pushing out pillar corner.
I got naded.
He's docked up. Down the pillar. He's up to the right. Still up to the right.
A box is on. A box is on. A box is B and A. A box is B and A. B got up. B got up.
B wing.
You can full flash the guy on A.
I'm flashing
him for you guys.
Jerry's still on.
I'm B. Great.
I'm
going to though.
I'm looking cross. Tube Neptune to the right.
Their side. Our side. Yeah, I got you. One shot in the corner.
What the hell do you think?
I'm tripping. I'm
stuck in dark spot.
What's up, baby?
Dark spot. Jerry, low A wing. Going to B.
Oh, top lane now, top lane.
Okay.
They're on B.
I'm gonna help you A.
It could be their side A.
Top lane, Neptune, one shot.
Top A boxes awakening. Jumping down to A. Jumping down to mid A.
Yo,
mid A.
One could be radio.
One right down, one here.
Good job. One more A.
One was Docs, he's on radio. One was on B.
Nep's close on me, dead.
Good job, dead.
Dark spot, Jerry. Dark.
Chance, it's still pretty tight. You heard the comms there from RØKKR. I mean, I thought they sounded pretty much in control, very composed.
Sounded great. I would say, honestly, the bigger problem for them, like anytime they're able to set up some sort of team push or a break on a hill, they've been on point, but a lot of just their one-on-one gunfights they've been struggling with just a tad. Accuracy going to get dropped from on top, and you can hear that time ticking down. Florida, not a ton of progression on either point. And right now, unfortunately, they're being sort of funneled into B, which is not an easy place to get. Slack, though, able at the very least to get that top lane control.
See how they go. 15 seconds remaining. Looking to see that last-minute contest. But again, we are waiting for someone to make the play. And it's going to be Slack in the top lane right now. And again, he does have a little bit of help from Skies. But Priesta, here he comes just to eject him. Off you go, son. Back out in the window he goes. That's a lovely bit of work. And that should be the round. No one there to contest. RØKKR level things up. I'm sweating, mate. It might be the leather jacket, but man, this is one hell of a series.
The series so far, I mean, almost every round, super tight as well. Admittedly, Florida not a ton of tick progression, but even the kills were pretty close to each other within 3 or 4. Minnesota just doing a nice job. They're just able to retain that sort of A Street control for long enough. And if you're ever forced to go to B first on this map, it's not always the easiest thing in the world unless you're able to get some sort of clean break. So Minnesota, I don't know if they're going to go back to the opener towards B or not, but I would assume more of a standard throw a body or two up and around the plane, everybody else towards A Street, and looks like that's what we're going to see.
It could well be an even split across the board. Oh no, we're deviating course. There's a little bit more A hit. Awakening though, at the deep back. Couple of tags either way, the kill's going through. It's easy trades right off the rip, but here we go. In on A we go. And Awakening, slip slides, catches up. Oh no, he doesn't finish the kill. Doesn't finish the kill, and Priesta saves it for his teammate. Great comms all around from Florida off the rip. And now you see an Awakening tries to be aggressive. But once again, comms all around. No one's letting these players slip through. It's why the life count has been so similar so far. The trades, the damage, the assists are on point. Sky is now bouncing around there on the A zone, trying to make sure it's safe. We do have a little bit of progression towards A, but that's gone. Neptune just eviscerates Attach at close range. And with that, here comes the aggression.
This is the moment, man. This is when you got Florida basically taking a hop, skip, and a jump all at the same time straight into their spawn. Neptune looking for the finesse, trying to win these gunfights. Attach, at least buying Major Maniac the time to get in there for the trades, but still your base has not been cleared out. Still 2 players putting the pressure out past that A Street, and we talked about this before, man. If you're getting funneled over towards B, not a fun spot to be in. They need to find a way to clear out Slack.
Yeah, accuracy's done. He's done a lot of work there just to get them forward, but attach. That left lane now wide open. Still have Slack on the inside of the tube, of the connector, NASA, if you will, right on that right-hand side. Attach is making his way forward. 20-odd seconds on the clock. Here comes the capture. Stop the clock immediately. Damaged out into Neptune. Got to watch for the flank, though. That's going to be immediately accuracy's job. And nice work from Priest. Brilliant reads. You've still got 2 members, 2 of them, of the Mutineers in your base. While the 2 players are capturing on point, I mean, this is a precarious situation to be in, right? You have to win the fight on point. You got to flush these guys out. And Slack, he will not be flushed. He floats his way towards the back. Nice kills on the front line again. Skies, can he get the 2-piece? The second kill here would be huge. The clock is now ticking once again. Neptune, the trap is set. Mutineers, this is looking magnificent. That should surely be the round. 10 seconds now remaining. Slack went big. Could not be stopped on the back line. Imagine now, if you are RØKKR, it's just grab kills and hope for the defensive round when it comes to the end. But man, what a play chance from the Mutineers.
I mean, that's got to be just communication, right? Like, you get that time where you're in their base for that long. And just the fact that the 2 players in tube, I mean, Slack waited, what, maybe 30 seconds he was behind enemy lines, but he was waiting for his AR players to start making the moves over towards the hill. That way, all the players on Minnesota RØKKR just had too many things to deal with. So, communication on point, the patience around tube just to wait for the pinch, also on point. Sort of putting in work, but of course for Minnesota, well, we all know it's about the defense on Checkmate. They had a fairly clean round just 2 rounds ago. Put up once again. Of course for Florida, well, we saw them with offensive success yesterday. They're trying to replicate.
They're going for it. A decent commit here. Oh, man, the Semtech's out and about, just trying to soften these players up before the push. Neptune gonna land 1. There's a nice bit of a trade, but you still have Slack there towards that far side of the point. Great read from Slack. My God, that is huge. Does not let Priester get involved. Now, this is going to force accuracy to make a play with the Krig up close. Not where he wants to be. Slacked, dude, once again. Slack just keeps finding kills in situations like this. Attach's going to win the nice big one on the defense, keep the contest alive. And this is a back and forth matchup. We are going to finally make the B point all Floridas. Slowly but surely going for the cap. Keeping those players trapped in on A, playing control, Slack's on a 4 spree. It's 20 and 10 overall chance. It's a delight.
It's a delight. And keep in mind right now, Minnesota's still doing a decent job, even with Slack sort of putting in work. They're tied on lives, not a ton of tip progression, or actually 0 coming through on either side. Maybe somewhat of an opening. Now you actually have a body on point. Neptune pushed out towards this A street, but for the moment by himself. Not able to quite win the first, but keeping these players at bay. Priest there for the re-challenge and the one-on-one gunfights. Neptune on point. Awakening there for some follow-up and trying to stay alive for Slack to be the hero. Hero is there. Skies for the coverage. Clean 4 down and A point almost assuredly. Gonna come through for Florida. And they got that 5-life lead.
5-life lead. And A zone now captured. We had a big wake over towards B there, just dealing damage, but finally goes down. With that, it's almost like you don't care. Just make the play. You've got plenty of space to work with now. Now roll over towards the B zone. B zone has not been drained yet either, so RØKKR not able to really do their homework there. A little bit of maintenance, a little bit of cleaning up hasn't happened. Nice win from Priester. That's a huge one. All top control now should be theirs. And now the battle rages below the point. Skies with his Krig. Good old trusty Krig. Just finding poke kills here. Not committing to the point just yet. Just hoping to find more damage. Keeping the life count all sweet. You've still got Priester good in the hood up there before being picked by Skies. Jesus, Skies. It's non-stop, man. The awareness is on point. Oh, my word. The turn almost onto attach. Meanwhile, you're capturing the B zone. Chance this could be it. A couple of points there. Going their way. Oh, boy. Second tick done. Slack's going to get the quick contest out of the way, and it's all down to him. Streak's coming through. Slack dips out the point, dips back in, knows where he's safe to make the push from, and accuracy comes in at the last moment and saves it. You've still got 1 player there on the point, and this is starting to get very, very desperate for RØKKR. Very, very desperate indeed, Chance. There's 2 players left on the defense. There's 1 player left on the defense. It's Major Maniac. You have to hold this one. There are so many bodies now available to dive onto the point and get the quick cap. You gotta go, RØKKR. You've got to go. You have to make the run for it. Get on point. Go for the contest. Is anyone there? No! Florida! It's another sweep. 3-1 overall, and this will be the 3rd time RØKKR have been swept in the CDL so far. The Mutineers certainly came to play today.
Guys, well, this might have been the run where he didn't quite get the streaks, but who needs streaks when you've got the beams? This was the opener. A 6 spree he goes on before he gets dropped. Every gunfight the man just made look that much easier. Stage 2, Mr. Bueno might just be here. Hell of a performance from Florida. Making sure they bounce back after 2 days ago lost, and well, back into the darkness he goes.
Well, he seems to be very, very happy there. The man loving life right now, awakening on the other side of the color spectrum. Bright lights around him, and he is shining. Certainly, the squad looking fantastic after a surprising loss again to Seattle Surge earlier in the stage. Now you bounce back in a brilliant way. You take care of business. Their first sweep of the season. A round of applause. Florida, good job done. It was a bit of a battle at times. It was a very, very close search and destroy. And again, clutch rules above all else. They did a good job on the checkmate hardpoint as well, to not let RØKKR make the comeback. But for RØKKR, once again, it is continued heartache for that team. They are so close, yet so far from making a big difference here. All things considered, though, a 3-0, a very, very tight one, an incredibly exciting series, it has to be said. And now a quick look at the damage.
Damage is great. I mean, Neptune just sort of quietly almost throwing up 5K is not too shabby. Just consistent from start to finish. Obviously, Skies going on sprees was nice to have. And then even Slackman making plays underneath the wing. Like, it is all about the timing when you know guys are going to be jumping off behind you on the wing or going on those full flanks. Well, Slack just reading that repeatedly, even doing this by himself. So across the board, everybody putting in work, and Awakening just looking at his teammates saying, thank you very much for the carry. I appreciate it. GG, everybody around.
GG's all around. We are going to see our Scuff player of the game in the moment, and we have received the forecast, and it is going to be clear and beautiful skies from the first round and from the third. He had a lovely gamer control chance. I mean, this is basically a little highlight reel of the man just doing a fantastic job.
And this is just the two-piece, by the way. Again, winning it in SMG and then just chowing out even while weak and winning against the next SMG in line. I mean, that's just one of those moments. This was the round that literally came down to a 1v1 at the very end. Skies loses those. Not only do they not have those lives in the back pocket, but A is almost certainly going to get capped sooner. You have less map control than before. It just took so much work for him. And then, well, at this point, maybe a little bit less stressful. Just the highlight reel, just beaming people left and right from underneath the plane.
Oof, what a fantastic string of plays there from Skies. I know.
Well, Icon, on the bright side, it's a beautiful day here in Minnesota, and I might have to go for a very, very long walk after that match. I mean, what can we even say? That was not good. We just got 3-0'd 2 days in a row. We allow Florida Mutineers to get their first 3-0 of the season. By the way, it's stage 2, so there's been a lot of matches played. What does this mean for the team? You know, what are the things you're noticing of you know, the miscues? Is it certain game modes? Is it certain players? Like, what are you kind of noticing as really the weak point of this team and why they're just not able to close maps out?
Biggest thing that I see, and it's basically map after map, is like if you don't have somebody that's absolutely shredding, going like double positive or dropping 35, like if everybody's basically playing even, a lot of these maps come down to winning a key gunfight or two. And we just saw it on that checkmate. The very first round came down to a 1v1, and accuracy just didn't win the 1v1. If he wins the 1v1, you win an offense, you win the next defense, you're up 2-0. And if you have momentum like that, you're up 2-0, you know you have another defense coming, you can easily win 3-1. Now we're on to raid hardpoint map 4. And it just seems like there's all these moments over and over again. We're like, okay, here we go. Here's the moment. And they don't get the kill. And they end up losing the round. And I don't know, something like that. Like, I don't necessarily know how you even fix that moving forward, because a lot of times, like, those moments don't come up. Like, if you watch Optic earlier, you have Envoy dropping 35 and 20, and it's just a blowout. And you say, like, it now all of a sudden you don't have to focus on a key gun battle between Scump and Fire or something, right? Because somebody's just owning the map so much, and it's just not happening right now. So it's a tough spot moving forward. I mean, I don't think, personally, I don't think a roster change is the answer, because, I mean, the players that are on Minnesota are so good, and they're such veteran players. Maybe a little bit more of a role switch. I don't know if Mike feels comfortable running an SMG and you put Priesta in a flex position. I don't know. It just seems like, one map, like this last map, accuracy played really well. And then the first 2 maps, attach was on fire. So it's, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is moving forward, but it doesn't get any easier because you have Dallas and Optic ahead in the next week.
That is terrifying. That is definitely not something that sits well. I mean, I guess silver lining, if you're trying to find one, which I am, we have 4 days until our next match. It will be on Thursday, March 25th at 3:30 Central Time versus Chicago Optic, the Green Wall. Can we take it to them? I don't know. That is probably one of the toughest matchups of the stage for us in this group. So it's going to be tough. You really do kind of have to go back and look within. I know they've already been doing that, of course, but, you heard Coach Saint say it in his pre-match interview. There may be like some minor role or, team, like just not team changes, but what's the word?
Like adjustments.
Adjustments, yeah, like a small role adjustment. We might need a big role adjustment. Looking at how it's going so far, I mean, Major Maniac, obviously an extremely talented player, and he's let it be known to me, I think in interviews too as well, like he can play with a sub. I think Priesta still plays, pretty well as a sub player, but maybe moving him to more into that flex role and RØKKR and AR a little bit more, maybe that's the answer, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm definitely not the coach. We'll leave that to the pros, but I don't know, guys. It's tough to watch. It's tough to see that we fall 0-2 in stage 2 so far. It is not all lost. We do still have 3 matches. So as I mentioned, on Thursday, March 25th at 3:30 Central, we'll be playing Optic. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be right back here with another co-stream at that date and time. And then the following Sunday, the 28th, we'll play Dallas Empire at 3:30. Obviously, the last time we matched up against Dallas Empire, we're looking a lot better. We beat them. And that's okay. Just side note, that's the thing that blows my mind, because we know this team has the talent. We know that we are talented enough to win and beat the best teams. It's just about consistency and finding that rhythm with each other, right? This roster is on paper freakish. So it's just about it coming together. I'm confident they still can. And then the next match that we'll see is on Saturday, April 3rd, the final match of the stage for us against Seattle Surge at 3:30 as well. So all the matches are 3:30. We got the 20th today, the 25th, the 28th, the 3rd. Mark it on your calendar. Get your time off work. Let your mom know. Tell your aunt. Get them in the co-stream. It'll be a good time. And then we will have the majors. So just how it works. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, we're 0-2, we're screwed. Stage 2 is chalked. That's not the case. Even if we do poorly in group play, as we are so far, you will go into the lower bracket of the majors and still have a chance. So if you're trying to look at a silver lining, we have 4 days before we play Optic. That's a nice little break. Let's go back. Let's regroup, rearm, whatever you got to do, recharge, and get ready. And then, if you do have a tough break of the rest of the stage, you've got majors, and there's still a lot of time before then. So lots of times to adjust and to try to mesh better as a team. Icon, any kind of, I guess, parting thoughts? Are you going to go outside? What are you going to go do? Are you going to watch the next match? I might listen to it while I go on my walk. Is that nerdy?
No, I think that sounds good. It's nice out. It's nice out here, too. Can't waste the nice days over here. But I don't know. I just think moving forward, again, you don't really want to overreact. They're so close. Like, 1 kill and that checkmate first round, you go up 2-0. You're probably going to end up winning that. There were so many times like that. Even yesterday, like the classic 2-piece P4 on raid. I don't know. Overall, I mean, all of these maps, everybody's so talented. It comes down to a gunfight or a clutch play here or there. And earlier in the year, we saw them make those clutch plays to get wins against teams like Dallas. And now they're not happening. And you're starting to see that search record kind of come back to 500. So they don't have that to rely on either. So I don't know. You got to iron out the thoughts and just try to put on a performance next week against Chicago and Dallas.
Well, if there's one thing I know about these guys in our team, they're not happy at all with how this is going. Neither the coaches, and frankly, neither is anyone at the organization. We want to win. We're here to win, and I'm confident that the next steps will be taken to make sure that we do that. So they're going to go back to the drawing board. Let's look at the VOD. Let's figure out what we can do next. If it's a little bit of a role change, if it's, just I don't know, maybe it's changing up your practice. I don't know. Like I said, I'll leave it to the pros. But either way, I'm still hopeful that we can turn it around and we can start to improve. It is still the beginning of the year. There's a long year. There's lots of stages. We've got lots of time left. It's not ideal to start this way, but hey, I'd rather finish strong than start strong and nosedive. Shout out to last year. Anyway, thank you, Icon, so much for joining me for the co-stream as usual. Icon and I will be back, obviously, for the co-streams in the future. I've already said the dates. We play Optic on Thursday. That should be cool. And then if you guys don't know, we actually do a podcast every Tuesday live at 7:30 Central on this very channel, so make sure to subscribe. We do a podcast called The Rotation. It's with myself, Icon, and Kingdom Soldier. Shout out to Kingdom. We'll be back this week just breaking it all down, and I'm probably going to be real crabby like I am right now, but it'll be cool. I'm excited to watch the rest of the matches for the rest of the weekend. But anyway, we've gone too long. This has been a hell of a post show. Icon, again, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Ashley, aka Midnight, and I will catch you guys next time.